Good morning, folks. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Uh, how can just to show you how messed up narcissists are, folks? Uh, they they will some of them will kill their partner that they're with, and if they got children, the little children are there, and they know that their other parent has been murdered and things like that. They know that the parent has been murdered. And if they got a little baby child, that baby child's probably young enough that it probably doesn't know much about things like that yet. But what makes that narcissist think that that child is going to love them when they grow up if they murder the mom to the child? Because I think the narcissist is so messed up that they forget that that child's going to grow up someday. Or if they get up old enough, like maybe 10 years old or on up, they're going to know that that narcissist murdered their parent eventually. And that child's going to resent that other parent for murdering their partner. But that just shows you how messed up a narcissist is, folks. They think that they're going to be able to murder that parent and get away with it, in life, thinking that that child is going to forget about that other parent and, they're going to love them still. But I got news for the narcissist. It doesn't work that way because children do grow up, whether they want to see that or not. And they will put two and two together, and they will figure out that that narcissist murdered that child's mom, and they will resent that parent. But the narcissist is so messed up and everything. That's just their demented way of thinking, and they don't have any empathy. They didn't have no empathy for that parent when they murdered them. They didn't care. They'll laugh because they think it's funny, and they just think that that was a sport or something for them to do, and they don't realize what it's going to do to that child when it grows up. But it doesn't matter if the narcissist has a family of narcissists that's going to try to cover up these lies and things like that, folks, that eventually it's going to come out. The truth is going to come out. And then that's what's going to happen. The child's going to resent that other parent. But I think that's awful, folks, that a narcissist is able to get custody of children like that, because that's the reason that we have a lot of children out here that's confused, is because they're being abused by the narcissistic parent and not being evaluated for their pattern and stuff like that, to the point of being able to get, to fix the situation and put the child where it would be safe from that atmosphere. And a family of narcissists like that, folks, a child's going to grow up to probably mimic that narcissistic parent's attitude. And chances are it's going to mess its life up too. Not because that child chose that kind of life or anything, folks, but pretty much just like I said, that child's forced to live in that environment due to the laws that always take sides with the narcissist and decides to give custody of the child to the narcissist. I just think that's messed up, folks. They got to know that there's a pattern there, because the narcissist always gives away his behavior one way or another, and they're bound to look at the pattern of the narcissist. Just like I've seen some of them sit in court and have what they call a shit-eating grin on their face. The narcissist does. And they think that they've done something and got away with it, because there is some of them that do think that they're going to get away with it, but eventually they're going to be caught. And I think that's sad, folks, that it has to be drug out like that when it comes to a child. And the child doesn't have a choice, if they're like 10 or 11 years old. They don't have a choice as to who they prefer to live with. And so that child is stuck in that pattern of abuse. And I think that's what happens to a lot of our kids today, folks, is because the courts are going on the narcissist side and letting the narcissists have custody of the children, knowing that they're messed up. And I think that if they know that that narcissist killed the mother of the child, I think that's a bad situation to put that child with someone who murdered the mother. Because that right there should tell them that there's some kind of behavior pattern on that narcissist's part. But sometimes that's what makes me think that there's biased judges, that automatically go on the man's side, and they take up for that narcissist because they like them or whatever. But that's what happened to me, folks. They went against me on things too. And I had a good lawyer and stuff like that, folks, to speak up for me and things like that. But it didn't do me any good. And the thing that hurt me is I lived in a family of narcissists, which was my husband and his ex-husband and his siblings and his parents. And they were all narcissist folks. So narcissists are the type of people, if one will tell a lie and they'll all back it up. And that's what they are, folks. They all lived in a web of abuse, and every time I went in around them folks, I felt like I was in a hornet's nest, so to speak. And that's just a figure of speech, folks. But I just don't get it, folks. I don't get what narcissists, I don't know their demented way of thinking, but you know that if deep down in your heart that if that narcissist murdered that mother, that child's going to grow up to resent that narcissist. And so either way they go, they're saying that they can't put that child with the loving parent. Well, either way they go, they're going to lose, because that child's going to grow up and maybe possibly mimic the narcissist. And then we'll have another narcissist out here trying to draw other women into a pattern. And I think that's why that we can't get rid of this epidemic of abuse towards women or men, is because they keep it going by giving custody to the narcissistic parent. And the child grows up with a lack of empathy and love in its life. And I think that's a very sad situation, folks. But I was just wanting to share this with you folks. This was my thoughts and my opinion. And I don't know what your opinion is, but you can leave a reply in the reply box, folks. And what I'm referring to, folks, in case you're wondering why I brought this subject up, is I've been following that Brooks House case, the Crystal Rogers case, and I can't believe that it just blows my mind that they're giving custody to a guy that possibly murdered the child's mother. How do you think that child's going to feel about its mother, folks? I mean, about its narcissistic daddy. And if he was made a narcissist, the daddy, just think about what it's going to do to the child mentally. I think that's a shame, folks. Why couldn't they let Sherry Ballard take that child and raise that child just like she did her other grandchildren? She did a good job with her grandchildren because they seemed like very nice people. And I just think that's sad, folks. I'm on Sherry's side. I believe that they should let her have custody of that child. But anyway, I wanted to get on here and share this with you folks. Thank you for joining my YouTube channel, and you have a nice day and a blessed day. You got this, folks. You're awesome. Bye-bye.